Welcome to The Transition Guy. My name is Peter Balker and today we're going to be covering Be Do Have. So what is Be Do Have all about? Well, it's all about having a different outcome. So if we go back to episode 1, when I was talking about the importance of planning, unless you've got the knowledge of knowing how to plan, you're never going to take your business to where you need it to be. So start learning how to plan. Hopefully now that you've been through that episode, you've had some time to think. You sort of said, okay, well, I'm going to put a plan together. For those of you that have put the plan together, it's all about now making a change. And this for many people is so difficult because we're stuck in so many habits that we find them really hard to shift, or in many aspects, we don't know how to change. The reality is our attitude is what we choose it to be. Our mood is what we choose it to be. Our outlook is what we choose it to be. And so often when seeing people, speaking to people, it really saddens me that their attitude and outlook totally sucks. See, there's this thing in our brain called the I know trigger. And what happens is when the I know trigger gets activated, we just totally zone out. The challenge we've got is that our I know will often kick in more often than we would like it to. And the reality is, as a leader of a business, well, actually, when we're running teams in a business, it doesn't necessarily have to be the business leader. It could just be team leaders or executives. You can't afford not to be present. You always have to be listening and learning. And actually, do you know what? There may be something in there that's of vital importance that if you switch off, you're going to miss. And because you've kind of forgotten what you learned, it kind of knocks your confidence a little bit. And perhaps it says, well, maybe I'm not geared up for learning. Well, the reality is you're absolutely geared up for learning. But what most people don't do is go through the entire learning process. Do you see this line here? Okay, the line is a separation point. And it's our choice whether we live our life above the line or below the line. So what's a great technique for actually avoiding the I know and keeping the hearing and keeping the listening going? Well, it's using a simple term saying, isn't that interesting? See, as soon as you think to yourself, whatever that person is going to say, isn't that interesting? You never switch off your hearing. You never switch off your listening. Do you know what? 95% of it probably is going to be BS. But it's not the 95% we're after. It's always about the 5%. So whenever you're in the learning situation and you get frustrated, don't get frustrated, persevere. Remember, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. So whatever you learn, practice. Unless we get rid of the stuff that holds us back, no matter how much we work on all the B stuff, if our thinking isn't right, we are always going to revert back to the way we think about ourselves, which means we're never going to do it. And therefore, we're never going to have the outcomes we desire. So it's about making sure that we work both on the B and the thinking together so that we can execute. So in summary, do not expect different outcomes if you're not prepared to do things differently, if you're not prepared to change who you are, and if you're not prepared to work on the stuff that's in your head that's holding you back. So if you can resonate with a lot of the stuff that I've covered today and you want more information, please head over to balker.com and get in contact. But remember this, failing to learn is learning to fail.